Y'all want me to talk about Clive Davis? Okay, let's do it. But I'm telling y'all right now, this story already took a turn that I was not expecting. So Clive Davis is over Arista, which is over Diddy's Bad Boy records. Now, rumor has it, allegedly, Diddy got on his knees for Clive Davis in 1994, and that's how Bad Boy Records came.
And I did find that I could be attracted to a man while I still am very attracted to a woman.
Boss too, and his boss name is Clive Davis. Clive run him. Diddy don't run himself.
Power. He loves the ability to manipulate and control people. Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor, who loved to control people.
And his mentor was
Andre Harrell.
Tell us how
who was
he
mentored by Clive Davis.
A lawsuit just came out that shows tons of evidence that P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, has been running a sexual blackmail operation very much like Jeffrey Epstein, but in the rap and music industry for basically 30 years. And in that lawsuit, we learned that his head of security while he's running the sexual blackmail ring is this guy named Fahim Muhammad, who before working for Diddy was the head of security for Michael Jackson when he was only 21.
Girl, the tea is piping hot today, and you won't believe who's spilling it. Clive Davis, the music industry legend who's usually as quiet as a church mouse, just broke his silence, and honey, he's exposing none other than Diddy. Can you believe it? After all these years, Clive is finally ready to talk, and the streets are saying he's got some serious dirt on the bad boy boss. This is the music industry bombshell we've all been waiting for. Clive and Diddy go way back, so you know whatever he's about to reveal is going to be juicy. The question on everybody's mind is, what could Clive possibly say that would have Diddy shook? Get ready because the tea is about to be served and it's scorching hot.
Did he have Whitney killed? Where my bill?
You already see my nails.
Where my
This is what I'm going to say about that whole situation, because for me, so many people don't want to say anything because it's Clive. Personally, me, I really don't give a fuck. They said I was blackballed. I can't be no more blackballed than I am. Clive Davis knows exactly who I am. I know exactly who he is. The last time I went to a party at his house, my ex-husband was with me and the nigga hit on my husband in front of me, yo. Like he walks around here. On my husband, on my ex-husband.
Okay.
Which was, it's his type. Everybody know Clive wants to be a black woman.
What?
That's why he always surrounds himself with black women. Look at his roster of major stars. Aretha Franklin, Cissy Houston, Whitney Houston, Angie Stone.
Wow.
And everybody forgets about Angie Stone.
True. We kind of do. That's true.
Everybody forget that before Alicia Keys, Angie Stone was holding it down, gold record after gold record after gold record after gold record. And then the next thing you know, Alicia Keys comes.
So so I do know, because I heard about it like in his biography or whatever. Clive Davis did say that he's bisexual, but you telling me like no, he's like a queen. In my opinion,
he's a queen.
He's a queen. Okay.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Most queens want to be black women.
So he's like a yes type, like yeah.
On the low.
Wow.
But I'm not gonna bite my words. The nigga hit on my husband right in my face. I was like, you out of your fucking mind. So I didn't get a whole lot of invitations back to none of them come suckle at the Tea to Power Grammy parties the night before the Grammys.
Yeah.
What I will say about Clive is that he is very, very, very obsessed with maintaining the brands that he creates. And he will go to extreme lengths to protect those brands. These women that he works with, they become dolls in his mind. They're living dolls. He runs every second of their lives. The only person he never really did that with was Aretha Franklin, but that was a different time.
Right.
He needed Aretha Franklin to become Clive Davis.
So he was a little bit more humble back then.
Well, I mean, you ain't got no choice. You ain't got no choice. Everybody comes into the game having to make their bones. He made his bones with Aretha. And what a person to make your bones with.
True.
Aretha hit. Now everyone's looking to him. Clive knows the singers. Clive knows this. It wasn't Clive that knew the singers. It was Aretha that knew the singers, who introduced the singers to Clive. But they don't talk about that either. So you got to realize by the time Clive took over managing Whitney, I mean, he had been a part of her life, damn near all her life. He had his postal in that bloodline, yo.
Now let's talk about Diddy's rise to the top. This man went from an intern to running the show faster than you can say, bad boy for life. Diddy was hustling hard, making moves, and shaking up the game. He had his hands in everything, from producing to rapping to starting his own label. And who was right there by his side? None other than Clive Davis himself. These two were thick as thieves, working together to make magic happen in the studio. But Chile, you know things ain't always what they seem in the music biz. While Diddy was out there shining like a diamond, there was some serious drama going down behind the scenes. The streets have been talking for years about the secrets and the scandals, but nobody wanted to spill the tea until now. Clive and Diddy may have looked like the perfect power couple, but trust and believe there were some major clashes happening when the cameras weren't rolling. You don't get to the top without stepping on a few toes, and Diddy's rise was no exception. He was making big moves and even bigger enemies. But what really went down between these two titans of the industry? What could Clive possibly say that would have Diddy sweating like a sinner in church? The tension is building and the tea is about to be spilled, so hold on to your wigs, because the story is about to get even juicier. Clive Davis is finally ready to break his silence. And honey, the streets are saying he's got receipts. You won't believe the bombshells he's about to drop about his time working with Diddy. This is the kind of tea that could change the game forever. What exactly did Clive see behind closed doors? And what does it all mean for Diddy's legacy? Stay tuned because the truth is about to be revealed and it's going to be a wild ride.
5-part perfect harmony and pitch. They could fill a whole church without microphones.
Wow.
See, that's singing, yo.
That is.
Because I'm going to tell you something right now. But everything that Whitney Houston is, she will bow down to Karen Clark Sheard, period. She would bow down. And Twinkie.
Oh my God, Karen Clark Sheard. Oh my God, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. Is that?
That's
oh my
Kiera's mom.
I knew who Kiera was this whole time, but didn't know who.
Kiera is your generation.
Wow. Okay.
But Kiera's grandma is Dr. Maddie Moss.
Yeah.
Man, she was the gospel gangster.
Because that's how they portrayed her. She was like,
no.
She was about her money, about her business.
Listen to me. My husband told me, he was like, they didn't do it right in the movie. He was like, she would literally take her shoe off and throw it at you if you was off on a note.
Damn.
Oh, your mom and dad told you that? Yeah. Because they remember, because they sang in the choir. Yeah, in the state choir. And so it's like, you got to look at who Sissy Houston is. When it comes to that, like there's nobody that's been able to go between the gospel world and the secular world, not just as a vocalist, not just as a choir director, not just as a musical director, not just you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Sissy a beast. So if you that kind of beast, why wouldn't you defer to what your mom say?
Because you're gonna feel like my mom knows what she's talking about. She's a legend.
Period.
Yeah.
And this is all before. Now, if you go back and look at the movie and listen to the story, she was getting hooked on cocaine at about that same time. Life was a whirlwind. And before she knew it, she was the biggest thing ever. I don't even think she knew she was going to be that big, but Clive knew. He had been planning it for quite some time. That Merv Griffin show, total setup.
Okay.
Total setup. For Merv, when she did the Merv Griffin, and then she did, I think it was Johnny Carson, who was white America.
Yes. Yes.
If you were black on that show, oh, nigga, you Michael Jackson.
Yeah. He was that one. He had late night on lock. That's a true legend.
Yeah, he was David Letterman before David Letterman.
Yes.
So that's Whitney. And now her life is boom and into whirlwind. She's constantly on tour. She barely has a chance to figure out what her personal life looks like, what she wants for herself, what's important to her. But then she has all of these demands. Money, 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 money. I'm going to tell you when I was done having any real respect for Clive Davis. When he made her end her marriage and separated at home. And Bobby Chris, even though they were dysfunctional on so many different levels, they were still a family. He separated that family for optics. And guess what? I can go up on YouTube right now and pull up footage of that European tour. It was a shame. It was a disgrace. You go and look up YouTube Whitney Houston in Kazakhstan. See, before she came back with the I Look to You, Clive sent her out on a world tour outside of America. Collect a bunch of cash. They was getting like $250,000 to $350,000 a show.
Wow.
They were getting hell of a lot more than they would get here because this is Whitney Houston. And she had been gone for a while. And Clive, oh, she's making a big comeback. And of course, if Clive said it's got to be true.
Right. His word is law. Yeah.
The show that she did in Kazakhstan, it was for the president. For the she was there to do the birthday performance for the president. She only had to do 4 or 5 songs. A half an hour, $250,000.
Wow.
For a half an hour. And when I tell you she was so high, she started crip walking under her gown.
Oh.
She was crip walking in a $15,000 gown on a $100,000 stage with the light up and the Kazakhstan wave dances. She couldn't even remember her songs. The background singers were stepping in. Like, it was bad. Wow. It was bad. And then she did the whole Marilyn Monroe. And then she was cracking. Her voice was, it was, I'm going to put it to you this way. The first time I saw it, it made me cry.
Really?
Because I thought to myself, why the fuck would they put her out on the road like that if she wasn't prepared? If she wasn't ready. But see, she had to make that money. Clive needed that money.
Yeah.
Just in case she crashed and burned before they could do a U.S. tour. And she embarrassed him here and he couldn't get no bread.
Hold on to your edges because Clive Davis is about to snatch them all the way off. The music mogul is finally opening up about his time working with Diddy. And chilly, the tea he's spilling is hotter than a summer day in Miami. Clive is coming with receipts and he's not holding back. He's claiming that Diddy was more than just a tough boss. He was straight up ruthless. According to Clive, Diddy would stop at nothing to get what he wanted, even if it meant throwing folks under the bus.
I'm hoping that all of this is going to tie up really nice because there's something that I haven't said to anyone. Diddy isn't actually my real target. He's a means to an end.
I know who the real target is.
Who?
Clive Davis.
Bingo.
The demon over everybody. The true Baphomet. Yeah, allegedly. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something right now. If you want something to end, you got to cut it off at the head. See, certain animals and certain beasts can actually regenerate their own limbs. If you cut off a segment of a snake, he can make himself a new tail.
Yeah.
But if you want the snake to die, what do you have to do? You have to cut off the head.
You have to.
There is no other head in the music industry than Clive Davis. Everyone that is mentored under him have become victimizers, liars, thieves, and probably worse things than that under his tutelage. He has to end. If we want women to be safe in this business, if we want fair business practices, if we want people to actually be acknowledged for what they achieve rather than what other people's give to them, unearned, we got to cut off the head.
I agree.
It's time for Clive Davis to retire permanently.
He ain't gonna go willingly though, Jack.
I don't give no fuck.
He ain't going
He'll
willingly.
go. He'll go. Because there's something that I know.
Oh shit.
And it goes back decades, long before I was born, but it was given to me by a very credible source. It's a mistake that he made many years ago when he was still actively managing Aretha Franklin.
Oh.
You know what you done, Clive. Confess your sins and retire for good. And take all your little bitch-ass minion puppets with you. Because though you might not be out front, you're running them.
Woo.
They're doing your bidding. You're the problem, Clive Davis. You are the issue. You are the reason why women keep getting raped. You are the reason why boys keep getting sodomized. You are the reason why careers, brilliant careers, come crashing down to a halt because they don't want to work within your agenda.
Wow.
You are the head nigga in charge when it comes to hell. And it's time for you to go back from whence you came. I promise you.
But that's not even the half of it. Clive is also dishing on Diddy's alleged shady business practices. He's saying that the bad boy boss was known for undercutting artists on their royalties and using questionable accounting to line his own pockets. Chile, if this is true, Diddy's got some serious explaining to do. And let's not forget about the drama with other industry players. Clive is hinting that Diddy's rise to the top wasn't all smooth sailing. He's talking about beefs with other labels, artists feeling like they got the short end of the stick, and even some alleged blackballing going on behind the scenes. These revelations are hitting the music industry like a tidal wave. Folks are shocked that Clive, who's usually so tight-lipped, is spilling all this tea. And you know it's serious when a legend like Clive speaks out.
A white man wouldn't be able to get away with some of the stuff that Diddy's. Nah, because right now we know for a fact that Diddy wasn't throwing parties for his goddamn self. Right? And yet it's Diddy that's coming out. They're putting Diddy out there as if there weren't record executives that are there, like there weren't A&Rs at these parties. And not for nothing, but we know that for those of you who don't know, most of the record executives and A&Rs are also coincidentally Zionists, which is super coincidental.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, no, they would have been able to get away with some stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, if they weren't able to get away with it, then why is it only Diddy's house being raided? Like, so logically speak, and why is it like, it's how long did it take for Harvey Weinstein for us to catch him, and like, look at all the circumstances that had to fall into place, and even still they tried to protect him afterwards, which we're not really seeing from P. Diddy. I can't remember which artist said it, but they were like, what happened? Why aren't all the people who were attending these parties friends with Diddy? Why aren't they coming out and defending him? Right? Hell, at least Harvey Weinstein had people come out and defend him, but they're not even defending. It's like he's kind of being thrown to the lambs. I don't believe that he'll be Epstein, though. I think that the Diddy was the conduit of hip hop culture for that Epstein class, right? In
That's
the
a great way
same
to
way
put
that it seems to me that the same way that they use Epstein to blackmail all those politicians, the same way that they use Diddy to blackmail hip hop artists, A&Rs, record executives, and even some politicians, like in the video I just sent in the private chat. Like in some politics, like I said, some politicians were even blackmailed. And we know that when it comes to controlling the masses, pop culture is just as important as politics. And you can make an argument even, hip hop culture specifically is even more important than pop culture when it comes to controlling the masses. Hip hop culture has always had this tendency to push the Overton window one way or the other. And Diddy has kind of set the standard of what behavior is and is not acceptable when it comes to how we treat those artists, right? What they do and what they don't have to do in order to be accepted. Like, bro, y'all see what happened with I don't know if y'all seen that video of him and Justin Bieber. Yeah, man, like I adopted Justin Bieber, and you know, we gonna do all this fun stuff with him and Justin Bieber's best friend, like it's a 15-year-old's dream. We can't really say on camera, what the fuck? What are you doing with 15-year-olds that you can't say on camera?
Yeah.
right? He adopted he adopted Usher
right?
too.
Usher,
So,
yeah,
like,
Usher went and lived with him. Howard Stern interview. You're absolutely right, Nico. Usher at the age of 14 lived with P. Diddy for a year. I mean, that's some creepy ass shit. Please
and specifically with the goal of telling him, like, showing him what the life was going to be like when he became. What the? Why would a 14-year-old need to see that, bro?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing I would argue too, as well, Nico. Too, it's just that they're all a protected class. I didn't mean, you're absolutely right, because we're going to talk about David Geffen. We're going to talk about Clive Davis. These two particular people, they almost mirror what Puff Daddy is doing, and these are a protected class. And you said something that's so important right here. You talk about bread and circuses, right? You give them bread and circuses and they'll never revolt. This is modern day bread and circuses, the entertainment industry, the sports industry. And it is much more powerful than politics alone. I mean, we're sitting here messing with the low-hanging fruit. It's such a small amount of people that are even involved in politics in the United States, but everybody's involved in entertainment. Everybody's got Netflix. Everybody's watching their stuff. So there's more control. I mean, look at the Swifties, right? She fills a whole stadium full of people, and she's telling people go vote Democrat and vote Biden, and people don't know what's going on, so they're going to listen to her. So they have
politicians low-key want to be celebrities, which is why they ingratiate themselves with people like P. Diddy, because they want to run in those circles, because a lot of them, like you always say, Pasta, most politicians are just failed actors.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of them want to be in those circles, so they're willing to do whatever they have to get in them. And P. Diddy seems to be one of those guys, man. He was right there. Whenever Obama got shot up to fame, P. Diddy was right there.
But here's the thing. Clive's not just doing this for the drama. He's shining a light on some of the darker aspects of the industry that often get swept under the rug. He's showing how cutthroat things can be at the top, and how even the biggest stars can get caught up in some shady dealings. Make no mistake, these bombshells are going to have folks talking for a long time. Diddy's name is on everybody's lips, and not in a good way. The question on everybody's mind is, how will he respond? Will he come out swinging, or will he try to brush it off like it's no big deal? One thing's for sure, the fallout from this is going to be epic. Will Diddy's empire crumble under the weight of these accusations, or will he find a way to weather the storm and come out on top? Only time will tell. But one thing's for certain, the tea has been spilled, and there's no putting it back in the cup. As the shockwaves from Clive's revelations continue to ripple through the industry, all eyes are on Diddy. How will the bad boy boss respond to these explosive claims? Will he come out swinging, or will he try to play it cool? The streets are talking, and everybody's got an opinion.
In the morning, the next day to go to London, Clive Davis, the head of the record labels, you know what I'm saying? Big time music mogul, had it set up. So it made me think, I never, ever, ever questioned at all. And when we talk about another thing I never questioned, that Puff Daddy had something to do with Biggie Small's death. Maybe not, but he put him out there like a lamb to get slaughtered. He really did. He put him in the worst position possible, and that was all P. Diddy. And the next day, guys, P. Diddy flies to San Diego. Just fly, like, people are like, what the hell is going on? And he just dies, and you're flying to San Diego for something that's going on. And it's kind of crazy, because we're going to play this next video now. You want to talk about Clive Davis, the man who made P. Diddy, right? Who signed him to this executive, who created Bad Boy for him. That's Clive Davis. And P. Diddy had to go over some other guy. His name was Andre. I think it was Andre Harrell, who had, pretty much Andre was Clive Davis's little boy toy growing up. And then all of a sudden, P. Diddy was Harrell's little boy toy. This is all in the movie. It's like you can see this pattern happening all the time, the way they do things. Well, P. Diddy went around Andre to get the label with Clive Davis, and there's been accusations. Watch this video real quickly, guys. Look at who Clive Davis is. Look at the behavior. Clive Davis has always been people have pointed the finger at accusations when it comes to Whitney Houston. Stuff out there they don't know.
You can't, at that point in time, because of where Bad Boy was at, I can have a Bad Boy without Diddy if I got Biggie. Yeah, I can't at that point I can have a Bad Boy without Diddy if I got Biggie. But if Biggie's gone, the only person with the network and the connections and the talent scouts and all that in the culture is Diddy. He's the only one left, because you just killed off the cash cow. So it's almost like he put Clive Davis in a position where now you got to give me everything I want and give me all the power, because the cash cow is gone. So
and a lot of people say that, P. Diddy was Clive's little boy toy, but Clive and the music, he can find another boy toy. You don't need to just stick with Diddy. Take a look at this really quickly. See who Clive Davis is, the accusations when it comes to Whitney Houston, the craziness behind that. See how powerful these music moguls are.
Diddy is truly a monster and represents everything that's wrong with the music industry. What most people don't know is that Diddy.
So
extracurricular activities, man.
And the next article, you can put it up right away. Our boy Suge Knight, right? He confirms it. He says that he walked into a meeting and that it was confirmed by Jimmy Iovine, another music mogul. Put it on up.
Jimmy Iovine or Jimmy Iodine?
Jimmy Iovine.
Jimmy Iovine. It's Jimmy Iovine, not Iovine. Yeah, okay.
Another music, like Suge Knight says he claims, and listen, this was said the other day. This is like very fresh, right? So Suge Knight isn't doing a 28-year sentence in jail. He has a podcast. It's called Collect Calls with Suge Knight. His lawyer, his partner, Collect calls him, right? And they have a conversation. They record the conversation, and they use AI to have a Suge Knight talking to the lawyer and whatnot. It's really genius, to tell you the truth. But he talks about this going on where he had heard that Clive Davis and Puff Daddy or P. Diddy were lovers.
Who and who?
Puff
Clive
Daddy
Davis
and Clive
and,
Davis.
I mean, if Suge Knight said it, that boy gonna stand on business. He ain't lying. Suge Knight don't lie. He don't feel like he got to lie about a damn thing. So it's Suge. So I mean, that's a problem. My thing about Diddy isn't really the focus on him being gay, because it was kind of a already understood thing within the hip hop world that Diddy be getting Diddy. Like that was already a kind of it's my line is on, oh yeah, you're forcing other people, like you're forcing other women to participate in sexual acts, like, and threatening them if they don't. Yeah. You're enlisting these young boys to live with you in your home and literally trying to show them what you're doing, right? And then there's the fact that so many of these people were like these artists, these hip hop artists, pop artists, record execs, and even politicians apparently were aware of what's going on and just said, yeah, we're going to pretend like that's not happening.
Well, they were probably participating in it. They were probably getting what they wanted to as well. It's a crazy beast that they created. If you look into the stories of David Geffen, Jamie Deluxe, guys, if you put in David Geffen and go to Rockfin, Jamie Deluxe has done a video about David Geffen several times. It was taken down from YouTube. It was taken down from all the other Facebook platforms, but it's up on Rockfin right now. Jamie Deluxe, he's got a little small thing there. You can see the accusations. The behavior is almost identical to what P. Diddy did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These guys participate in this thing. They think they're on
Chile. The reactions to Clive's bombshell revelations about Diddy are coming in hotter than a fresh batch of tea. The streets are buzzing and everybody's got something to say. Industry insiders are shook, fans are divided, and the general public is eating up every juicy detail like it's their last meal. Some folks are standing by Diddy, saying that this is just another case of haters trying to bring down a successful black man. They're pointing fingers at Clive, asking why he's coming out with all this now and what he stands to gain from it all. But others are giving Clive his props for finally speaking his truth and exposing some of the shadiness that goes down behind closed doors. Meanwhile, Diddy's team is working overtime to put out fires and do damage control. They're trying to spin it like this is all old news and that Clive's just bitter because he got left behind while Diddy kept rising. But the receipts don't lie, and some of these accusations are looking pretty damning. The question on everybody's mind is, what does this mean for Diddy's empire? Will this be the scandal that finally brings him down? Or will he find a way to cling his way out of it like he always does? Some folks are already predicting lawsuits, lost deals, and a whole lot of burned bridges. Diddy's always been a master at reinventing himself, but this might be his biggest challenge yet. And
it's like that's even higher. That's high still. But even lower than that, there are a bunch of artists, like regular artists is obviously relative, but regular artists who don't have the protection of a record executive. Like, that's my thing, is like, how many of them were either involved in what happened with Diddy or they were victims of it and haven't said anything about it? Like, in the same way that there were victims of Harvey Weinstein that some of them, a lot of them never came out. There are even rumors that Harvey Weinstein, he might have been partial towards women, but he wasn't limited to women, right? So like, that's my thing, is like, are they doing that thing where they just throw out Diddy and then pretend like nobody else was involved? That's my issue. Like what they did with Epstein or Ghislaine. Oh yeah, she's guilty of everything. Okay, but she didn't traffic anybody to anybody. So she's guilty of trafficking, but
to nobody.
She didn't traffic to
I know. I get it. I get it. Fam, you got anything to say about this? You're kind of hanging out in the rafters, just soaking it on in.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is hearsay. A lot of it is, in terms of the background, in terms of what is known is the accusations, right? So I just reserve what I can say because a lot of it is
family deals in
We don't know.
facts. Feeling deals in facts, not feelings.
We don't know.
Unlike Ben Shapiro, who loves to deal in feelings and not facts, apparently.
So
Despite
Puff
himself.
Daddy, after getting P. Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever you want to call him, after getting not arrested, but his house is, searched and whatnot. And obviously this crazy court case now, this settlement to Cassie, $30 million less than 24 hours later. Some people are trying to say that his businesses made the decision. I'm like, no. He was at the top of the chain and he made those decisions. And I'm trying to look for some of the court, the filings in court because they keep removing them from online. I can't find them anymore. That's why I brought that article because I have them all together.
They're probably going to let him go. That's probably why.
I don't know.
Let's not forget about the artists who were allegedly done dirty by Diddy and his shady business practices. Will they come out of the woodwork with their own stories now that Clive has opened the floodgates? The tea could get even hotter if more folks start spilling what they know. At the end of the day, this scandal is bigger than just Diddy and Clive. It's shining a light on the dark underbelly of the music industry and the cutthroat tactics that some folks use to get ahead. It's got people talking about the need for more transparency, accountability, and fair treatment for artists. But for now, all eyes are on Diddy and how he's going to weather this storm. Will he come out swinging with a clapback for the ages, or will he lay low and let the chips fall where they may? One thing's for sure, this is far from over and the fallout is just beginning. So grab your popcorn and settle in because this drama is about to get even juicier.
Why did you let the party go on?
Of course, this is a personal thing. But the Grammys were the next night. You don't cancel. You turn an evening into a tribute.
You did a magnificent evening.
Into...
Did you give a thought to canceling?
Never.
You never thought?
Never.
Did you ever think?
And the family did not want me to give a thought. No.
You were, I think, going to go to the Clive Davis party.
Yes.
It was a surreal event where Whitney's body was still in the hotel, and there was this sort of party where apparently half the room were in tears, the other half were kind of partying. What did you feel about that?
I thought that was complete insanity. And knowing Whitney, I don't believe that she would have said, the show must go on. She was the kind of woman that would say, stop everything. I'm not going to be there. I don't know what could motivate a person to have a party in a building where the person whose life he had influenced so enormously and whose life had been affected by her. So they were like, I don't understand how that party
I had
a true tribute, might have been a truer, a more honest tribute in my opinion, would have been maybe call everybody together, let's say a prayer, and let's eat dinner and go home. I couldn't get dressed. I was supposed to go to the party. I just got off a plane from Miami at about 5:30. As soon as I hit the tarmac, I found out, I heard, and I couldn't put on makeup. I couldn't get dressed. I couldn't do anything. I was paralyzed.
Girl, this drama with Diddy and Clive Davis is far from over. We've seen the shocking revelations, heard the streets talking, and watched the fallout begin. But what comes next in this juicy saga? Will Diddy clap back and try to clear his name? Or will more dirt get dug up on his alleged shady dealings? Could we see artists coming forward with their own horror stories about working with the bad boy boss? The tea is still piping hot, and there's bound to be more spillage on the horizon. Y'all know this scandal has opened up a whole can of worms about the dark side of the music industry. Folks are demanding answers and calling for change, but will anything actually happen? Or will it be business as usual once the dust settles? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. The world is watching and waiting to see how this all plays out. What do y'all think? Is Diddy's empire about to crumble, or will he find a way to come out on top like always? Sound off in the comments and let me know where you stand on this messy situation. And be sure to keep it locked right here because we'll be following the story as it continues to unfold. Trust and believe there's more drama coming down.
I'm not hating on him for getting money.
Me either.
I'm just hating on the way he got it. And I'm hating on the overall effect of what it's done to not only the artist on his label, the artists that got shelved, the artists that got dropped. Not only that, but what he did to culture. Because he made culture like an Andy Warhol painting. And don't get me wrong, Andy Warhol, great artist.
Right.
But let's keep it a bean. Andy Warhol was pop culture. That's what if I were to put a label on Puff, I would say that he's the Andy Warhol of hip hop.
The Andy Warhol. Okay. I hear you.
And he got smart and he listened to all of his advisors, mostly Clive Davis, and he won. Like, he was determined to win. Like, nobody knew how determined he was to win. Like, that whole thing with Father MC, he covered that thing up real fast.
What happened with him and Father MC?
There was a party down at Howard, one of the infamous parties, and they had gotten too big, and he didn't have proper security, he didn't have proper permits, and there was a stampede, and Father MC's woman got trampled to death.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And
now, how does one go about covering up something like that?
Well, I mean, apparently you pay people. From what I've been told, he's been paying what is it? What's the not the World Star, the other one? The Shade Room. He's been paying the Shade Room not to post my post. That's what I was told. Someone hit me up in the DM and was like, stop tagging. They got on my feed and was like, stop tagging the Shade Room. He's paying them not to post it.
Yeah, I can believe that. It's a couple other artists that pay them too, not to. Yep.
And I'm not hating. I'm not hating. If they paying you that money, they paying you that money. But just understand, the second that you jump into somebody's pocket, you stay in a pocket.
Forever.
Period.
Yeah.
Because if you'll take the money once, you'll take the money twice. If you take the money twice, you'll take the money 3 times. And once they get used to getting that money, now you've given the other person all of the control. So what happens when you want to break a story that you really want to break and somebody comes to pay it, but everybody else is going viral and you're missing the boat?
Yeah. And right now we're talking about the Shade Room and Diddy. Allegedly, Diddy has paid the Shade Room not to repost Jaguar's posts. I can tell you guys, I know for a fact there's a couple other artists that paid the Shade Room to only post positive things. Hey, you get your money how you do. Allegedly, some YouTubers are being paid too to only post positive things. That's fine. You get it how you do. I like to be able to talk free.
I am a hustler. I would never tell nobody not to get no money.
Right. Me either.
But at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself what you're living for. Are you living for what you're building for yourself, what you're building for your career, what you're building for your legacy? Are you living to be in somebody's pocket?
Yeah. Yeah. You can be of the people.
Puff has always had a lot of people in his pocket.
Yeah.
Like I said in my post, he's probably one of the only people in this industry that has more secrets than me.
Really?
Yeah. All those cover-ups, all of those stories, like the simple fact that people still didn't know that the East Coast, West Coast was engineered by him and Suge. They did a great job acting that whole thing out. But it was all to sell records. It was a marketing scheme. And then when they start, when people started losing control of the stars, next thing you know, people started disappearing. Now, a bunch of people have gotten on my page and asked me, do I know who killed Biggie and Tupac? What I will say about that is this. Allegedly, everybody knows.
Oh.
Allegedly. Everybody knows, but nobody's going to say anything.
But do you know?
What I will say is this. When you start bumping into certain groups and entourages of people, and you see key players that are there sometimes and not there sometimes, you know what I'm saying? When they're there, ain't nothing popping, but when they're not there, things are popping. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm following.
There are certain people that hang out with certain groups of people, and you see them. They're in pictures, they're on the red carpet, they're around. But then things start popping off. You don't see those people. Oh. They're not in those pictures. They're not on the red carpet. They're nowhere around. So where the hell were they? They were at every other party. They're in every other picture. They're standing by you everywhere else except for when this person went missing or this person got shot. You know, the art of misdirection is a skill that most record executives use. So considering that the public has absolutely no idea what's happening behind the curtain or behind the velvet rope, it gives them a great advantage to paint whatever story they want to paint. So what I will say is there are some peanut gallery attendees that conveniently disappear off the scene at certain times. And everyone knows this. Now, I'm not speaking on anyone in particular. I'm just saying we got to pay more attention to the people that show up in pictures when they show up and when they don't show up, because it's all there.